And Champions League game week 3 is done, boys and girls. And I think we can all say it has absolutely delivered. A record amount of goals that took place in one single game week in Champions League history. Look at the goals. Goals galore, whether on Tuesday or whether on Wednesday. So many goals, so many great performances, couple surprise result. Let's talk about every single game. Let's talk about, give our takeaways on most of the game. And of course, the table. The table looks very different. If you looked at the table last year, this time last year, after 3 game weeks, you would see Nice, you would look at Atlanta, you see Aston Villa, you see so many different teams, random teams in the top 8. Whereas now, you look at the top 5 and you can really truly say you might see a winner of the 5 teams. The Paris Saint-Germain, the Bayern Munich, the Inters, the Arsenal, the Real Madrid, and even that, Barca, Liverpool, Chelsea are not far away. And of course, being on 9 points, you're pretty much giving yourself a good chance to finish in the top 8 because I can't lie, game week 4, it's got a lot of big games. You've got Paris against Bayern, Real Madrid against Liverpool. So many interesting games. But let's talk about those games that took place on both Tuesday and Wednesday. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the second channel. Big up all of you guys who've been on the second channel. We're getting very close to 20,000. On the main channel, we're getting very, very close to the 100K. And on this one, we're getting very close to 20K. So make sure you subscribe to this channel and like, and of course, the video, and comment your own thoughts about any of the games. Let's start with Tuesday, and let's start with the first game that took place, Barcelona against Olympiacos. Of course, I did a watch-along. I left it 3-1 because the penalty decision and the red card to Heze was an absolute joke. I don't understand how they gave the red card, and of course, a lot of people agreed after the game saying that it was an absolute BS call. A lot of Barca fans put their hands up and say, you know what, that wasn't a red card. But it doesn't take anything away from the fact that Fermin Lopez picked up his first senior hat-trick. First time he scores a hat-trick for Barcelona. So, of course, great feeling. Barcelona, the warm-up game before El Clasico, they managed to pick up 6 goals. And they are heading into El Clasico with a great momentum. Of course, Lamine is back on the score sheet. Fermin is now fully healthy back, scored 3 goals. Rashford is back. Of course, he's been scoring goals whilst Rafinha's been out. And the biggest storyline is, of course, how the front 4 will look like. Because everyone knows, everyone's got an idea how Barcelona will shape up defensively and that two pivot midfield of Frankie and, of course, Pedri. But the 4-man up front isn't interesting. Lamine Yamal is going to play. Rashford is going to play. Fermin is going to play. But the last position, who's going to go to? Ferran Torres just came back from an injury. Is it going to be a 3-man midfield of having Casado in there who's been decent over the past couple of weeks? So Barcelona, they've got a lot of question mark on who's going to be playing in that last position. But beating Olympiacos, who at one point could have gone and scored the second goal before Heze got sent off, and it literally changed the whole game. The moment that's sending off came, Barcelona scored about 4 goals after that. So you can really say that had a massive, massive impact. But Fermin, shout out him. He scored a hattie. Fair play to him. Danny Olmo, I need to come back for the Clasico, yeah? Second game is Clara and Pavos. Let's not even bother talking about it because that game is the only game that finished. Wait, the Atlanta? Oh, second game. Third game, but on that specific day, cheeks. Then we've got Arsenal and Atletico, and of course made a review on this channel talking about Arsenal, talking about how much I feel like they are massive, massive favourite for this tournament. I said in the video, Arsenal, I had them 4th, 5th favourite heading into this tournament, but now I've got them very, very high as 2nd favourite. And it comes down to them defensively. Look at them, bro. Look at how much of a joke of a team they are. Like, you need a lot. You need to do a lot to beat this kind of team. And Arsenal, they've got so many ways to hurt you this time around. Like last season or the year before, they were very predictable on how they score and how they attack. Whereas this time around, they've got their plan A, they've got the plan B, and they've got the plan C in terms of using Victor as a shield to bring in more numbers in the final third, the likes of Eze, Martinelli, and Bukayo Saka. As, of course, Arteta came out after the game and said, Victor, despite the fact that he doesn't look good in the eye, as a lot of people say, he's still very important to our system. All that can hurt you in set pieces, which they did about two times a season, and as they always do, being the best set piece team in the world. But forget going forward defensively, you can't score against them. Them man have conceded after 12 games, they've only conceded 1 open goal. As of right now, under Arteta, they have yet to concede a league phase goal at home. And that is taken away from last season and so far this season. They've played three games so far in the Champions League. Bilbao, Olympiacos, and of course, Atleti. 8 goals scored, 0 goals conceded. Like, they are on smoke. They are on absolute smoke. And of course, the biggest talking point was the player performances. The likes of Zubimendi, the likes of Marcelo Skelly, the likes of course, Martinelli scoring once again his 3rd goal in the Champions League. The Arsenal, Gabriel having... is it fair to say, and I don't care what anyone's going to tell me, I think right now, Gabriel is the best centre-back in the world. It might disappoint certain man for different fan bases, the Barca fan base, the Paris fan base, the Liverpool fan base, the Real Madrid fan base, but Gabriel, as of right now, so far this season, this guy is by a big surprise, to be fair. He is the best centre-back in the world. And I think I've had that feeling about him for the past week, but this guy's too good. But Arsenal, big win against Atleti, which everyone thought that game was going to be a parking the bus, a boring 0-0 draw. You man clearly don't watch Atleti. Then we have the highest scoring game of the game week. Leverkusen against Paris Saint-Germain. 7-2, 2 red cards, penalty misses, penalty goals, beautiful goals, then Boost being back, and Liverpool and Paris Saint-Germain finally got all of their players back. The Vitinhas came back. The Doués came back. The Cavaras came back. The Dembus came back. The only 2 players which they are hoping to be back quite soon is, of course, the 2-man midfield of João Neves and Fabian Ruiz. But going away to Leverkusen, I did my prediction Champions League game week 3 couple of days ago on Monday on this channel. I predicted Paris Saint-Germain to win this game easily, and which they did. Of course, Leverkusen had a moment where they could have done something with a missed penalty by Grimaldo, but that chance went away. Of course, Andre got sent off. Kind of deserved sent off. Zabeni got sent off. Kind of deserved. I saw the highlights. I didn't watch the game, but the biggest talking point, of course, Paris Saint-Germain is having Dembus back and having Vitinha back. And now, slowly and gradually, most of the big players are back, which means a fully healthy Paris Saint-Germain team is still by far the best team in the world. But 7 goals, fair play. Then we've got Dortmund against Copenhagen, the team which I predicted to finish top 8 in Copenhagen, has started the Champions League not on the greatest of form. 3 games, 0 wins, only 1 point. But similar to the first game against Leverkusen, against a German team, and now 3rd game against a German team, this game, they got robbed as well. A lot of sus decisions going to the favor of Dortmund. The biggest talking point of this game is, of course, Jude Bellingham, the brother, of course, of Jude Bellingham, picking up 2 assists, finally getting something, finally being on the stat sheet in terms of GAs, because he's had a very rough season, a very rough first season where his dad has been complaining, why is my son not getting any sort of minutes? And last game against Bayern Munich, the 2nd goal by Olise was his fault. So the criticism has been a lot towards him, which is a bit unfair because he's still young. It's his first season. A lot of expectation towards him. A lot of people comparing him. Like, it's unfair to compare him to Jude Bellingham. Like, just because Jude did very well at Dortmund, you can't expect his brother to do the same thing. But this game hopefully can help him just pick up the momentum and hopefully do better in the next coming of weeks. But big win for Dortmund, because that takes them now in at 6th place. And so far, 2 wins, 1 draw. Decent start for Dortmund. Then you've got Newcastle winning at home against Benfica, picking up now 6 points, 2 wins in the last 2 games. They beat Union, they beat Benfica. Of course, losing against Barcelona in the first game week, it's not easy. It's Barcelona, but actually adapting to that, despite the fact that they lost, bouncing back and winning 2 games is massive. Jose is yet to pick up a Champions League win. And Benfica, 3 games, 0 points. One of them wasn't with Jose, but Jose's having a rough start with Benfica. The 2nd goal, by the way, I don't know if you guys saw the highlights. The 2nd goal was an absolute joke. Like, it went from a corner, 10 seconds later, like Benfica had a corner. 10 seconds later, Barnes scored for Newcastle. Like, the way the defensive structure of that Benfica goal, that players just losing awareness and concentration, it was so bad to watch. Then you've got one of the surprise results of the game week, PSV beating Napoli, and I think we saw the game of the game week. I think we saw the goal of the game week. Like, bro, I think it might have been Was it Man or was it Dry Rouge who scored from 40 yards? I forgot which goal it was. It might have been the fifth goal, the fourth goal, the sixth goal. Incredible goal. But I kind of knew it. That's the reason why I predicted in the Champions League prediction video on Monday. I predicted PSV to win this game due to so many reasons. One, because PSV at home is actually a very strong team. The fan support is incredible. I think they were quite unlucky in the last game at home, losing to Union. I think they lost about 3-1, but they had so many chances to win that game. Napoli, under Conte, forget Napoli, just Conte as a whole, when it comes to Champions League, it's not it. Like, his Champions League track record is very, very embarrassing. Very embarrassing. I was so surprised when SDS did a video predicting the top 8. I saw two people have Napoli in top 8. Brother, like, do you not know Conte's track record in the Champions League? But even so many storylines came out from this game. Of course, the one being Noah Lang, who played for PSV, won the league with PSV, joining Napoli this summer at 25 million and coming off the bench, coming after the game and saying, I've only had one conversation. I was signed in the summer. So it's been now 3-4 months. He said, I've only had one conversation with Antonio Conte. We all know about Antonio Conte. If he doesn't like you, he will tell you to your face, I don't like you. He will make it very clear to you. And Noah Lang, you signed for 25 million. You've only had one conversation with you, which basically proves the fact that, was it your signing or was it Napoli signing? Like, which signing was it? But Napoli on a bad state. They lost, of course, in the weekend against Torino. They're losing against today. Like, that's a bad run that Antonio Conte is going through, which I cannot understand, because Antonio Conte, we all know, if he was given the option, do you want the league? Do you want the Champions League? This guy will pick the league all day long. But massive win, historic win, of course, for PSV. Then we have Inter Milan beating Union away from home without Thuram, who was, suspended, injured for this game. But Lautaro picking up another goal. Dumfries picking up another goal. Massive win for Inter, which Inter right now has got the same exact record, actually a better record than Arsenal. 9 goals, 0 goals conceded. And this is an Inter side which a lot of people had them not doing well this season without Simone Inzaghi, Kivo coming in. But I kind of knew. I said in my prediction, I had Inter in the top 8. Bro, the same players. Like, nothing changed. Yes, Inzaghi left. Kivo kept coming in, and Kivo didn't start well with the preseason, and of course, losing one of his first 2 games in the league, and the Club World Cup wasn't great, but Inter, you've got the players. Yes, an aging team, but it's not like them men are reaching their prime years of 36, 37 years old. They're still there, and bro, Inter, from what I've seen them, and I've caught a couple games of them, I feel like they're better now than what they were last season with Simone Inzaghi. And of course, the last game on Tuesday, it was between Villarreal and Man City. Man City picking up another 3-point, another clean sheet. Haaland once again on the score sheet. Finally, he gets some help with Bernardo Silva helping him. Very convincing win in the first half. The whole game itself, Villarreal didn't really trouble Man City. I watched the highlights, the extended highlights. I didn't see any sort of massive clear-cut chance of Villarreal. A lot of shots outside the box from far. Donnarumma having a very, very great start so far in his City tenure, which begs the question why Enrique sold him. This is so weird. But it proves the decision that a lot of people, before Donnarumma got signed, everyone's saying, why is Pep signing him? Why is he signing him? It doesn't fit the Pep system, having a ball-playing goalkeeper. But so far, forget the ball play. This guy has been saving, shot-stopping wise. He's been second to none. And another goal by Haaland increases his track record. And City, listen, man, right now, they're in 7th place, a draw, of course. They should have won the game against Monaco, but they put themselves in a very good position. And the next game against Dortmund at home, after 4 game weeks, you might be in 10 points. Very great start compared to last year, how they started last year Champions League. They started so badly. Then we have got Wednesday's result. Yesterday's result, Bilbao picking up a massive 3 points against a Karabakh side who's been on form. 2 games, 2 wins, and at one point, they continued it. They scored the first goal, and Bilbao was going in a very bad period because Inaki Williams, I watched the game. Inaki Williams got taken off with an injury. That is one of your best players. And Bilbao had lost the 2 previous games against Dortmund, against Arsenal. This is a massive, massive game. Being 1-0 down, they managed to get a goal before halftime, and of course picking up 2 goals in the second half. Massive, massive 3 points for Bilbao, because they want to be within the playoff spot, which you need about 6 to 8 points, 9 points if you want to be in that little category. Igala, once again, after beating Liverpool in game week 2, they're picking up another 3 points against Bodo Glimt. Victor Osimhen with a beautiful, beautiful first goal. And Gala right now, look where they are, man. 14 plays with 6 points. Not a bad start. And even the next game against Ajax, who we will get to, has been absolute cheeks. Gala can make it very, very good run in this Champions League. Then we have got Atalanta against Slavia Prague. Nothing to talk about. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. Very disappointed about Atalanta not to win. I mean, hold on. What's the stat sheet? Oh my, like 2.59 XG and he failed to score. Horror. Bayern once again winning. Once again, Harry Kane is on the score sheet. The little superstar Carl scored a goal. Luis Diaz scored a goal. And of course, Nico Jackson coming off the bench and scoring goals. Bayern so far continuing their 100% win record. They've yet to draw. They've yet to lose. Once again picking up 3 points, and once again, look at this. Look how many goals they've scored. They've scored about 50 goals so far this season, which is crazy. Absolute crazy. But nothing to talk about a lot on this one. Everyone is looking forward. I'm looking forward to, of course, the Paris Saint-Germain game, where I'm going to judge this Bayern team. Again, with all due respect, Bayern, you've done well against the Club Brugge, the whatever you've played in the Bundesliga. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to be looking at you guys, and I'm going to be judging you guys your next 2 games, where you're playing 2 away games. You've got a game against Paris Saint-Germain, and you've got a game against Arsenal. Those 2 games are massive for you, because this is where I'm going to see where you guys rank in terms of winning the tournament. Let's see. Let's see if you guys can replicate what you've done so far this season in the next 2 Champions League games against Paris Saint-Germain and against Arsenal, which you 3, Paris Saint-Germain, Arsenal, and Bayern Munich, are the top 3 favourites to win the tournament. Then you have got Chelsea picking up another 3 points, beating Benfica last week, beating, of course, Ajax this week, and now having a decent start. Of course, they lost the first game against Bayern Munich away from home, but they've picked up 6 points in the last 2 games against a very, very, let's be, bro. Look at this Ajax team. Look at this Ajax team, and please be honest if you know anyone else except for maybe 2 players or 3 players, fam. I know who Weghorst is. I know who Sotalo is. I know who Kenneth Taylor is. Other than that, do you guys know McConnell, Rosa, Itakura, Moro? Fam, what happened to this team? What happened to this Ajax team where in 2018 reached the semi-finals with that golden generation? And I've spoken to some Ajax fans online. Ajax fans are so upset with the management because even the players coming from academy, they're not good enough. Like Ajax right now, Ajax was known to be the place that brings up elite talent from the academy. The De Ligt, the Donny van der Beek, and so many players, and Frankie de Jong, of course. But over the past 3 to 4 years, Ajax track record with bringing academy players is not that good. Like the youth system is so bad compared to the other Dutch teams. Like Ajax right now are in a bad state because who are these Haywans, fam? I know, but for Chelsea, forget Ajax. For Chelsea, massive win. Mark Wheeler picking up a goal. Very good goal. Gittins finally on the stat sheet in terms of the GA. Enzo Fernandez scoring a penalty and then giving the ball to Steve for his first Champions League goal, which was very nice. Leadership moment from, of course, Enzo Fernandez. But 5-1, good win for Chelsea, which takes them now in that little spot where the next game is against Karabakh, which is very winnable before they play the big game in game week 5 against Barcelona. Then we have Liverpool finally ending that losing streak and finally picking up 3 points. But the biggest storyline is, of course, Florian Wirtz finally ending the 007, 008, 0010 or whatever that is, getting 2 assists. But another storyline, Iketika on the score sheet. Another storyline, no Mo Salah in the starting 11, came off the bench, had a moment where you could have passed it, squared it to Florian Wirtz. He didn't do it. Missed, of course, the chance. But after the game, the abuse that he's getting from Liverpool fans. Even I'm going to be making a video about it specifically on tomorrow, not today, tomorrow, because what I'm seeing from Liverpool fans, the treatment towards Mo Salah, is absolutely disgraceful, which I'll explain in bigger detail, more context. But for Liverpool, is massive to end that losing streak, being of course Frankfurt, who the high line worked to perfection, to Liverpool's that perfection, really and truly. But big win for Liverpool. Monaco Spurs, I don't understand. I watched the highlights. I don't understand how Monaco didn't score that game, fam. I don't understand how Monaco didn't score. Thomas Frank, once again, not winning. 2 back-to-back draws now in the Champions League. Real Madrid, I spoke about on my main channel, not good enough. I wasn't impressed. Yes, we had chances, but Juve had so many chances for them to score as well. Not a great game for you to head into El Clasico. Not a great game. And lastly, Marseille against Sporting, where Marseille at one point could have scored, could have made it 2-0, 3-0 before the sending off, changed the whole game, and Sporting scoring from Cartomo and a late goal from Santos. And at the moment, this is how the league table looks like, where Paris, Bayern, Inter, Real, and Arsenal is pretty much guaranteed their position in the next round. The next, Bayern, City, Newcastle, Barca, Liverpool, Chelsea, they are up there. But listen, I can't lie. The league phase is looking interesting. So many teams, even the teams right now at this point, because Real Madrid, let me tell you one thing right now, like to all those teams in the bottom 17, 18. Real Madrid, after 4 game weeks, we were literally 27, 26. We only won 1 game in 4 games. We lost 3 and won 1 after 4 games. But we then finished, because we won the last 4 games, we then finished, I think, 9th or 10th. We just missed out on the top 8. Even if you lost. Like right now, I'm looking at Monaco, I'm looking at Juve, I'm looking at Atleti, I'm looking at Marseille. Yes, you have 3 points, you've lost 2 games, but trust me, win the next couple games. I'm looking at Spurs, because Spurs have got the next game against Copenhagen at home. That should be a game that you should win. Win the next couple games, you might see yourself very close in the top 8. But make sure you like the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and make sure you put your own thoughts about any of the games. And I'll see you tomorrow with a Premier League predictions and a Mo Salah video on why the Liverpool treatment has been absolute disgrace.